Hey, bitches.
Hello, everybody.
I think we finally got it. I think we might be onto
We've
something.
been doing this for an hour now.
Literally for the last hour, guys, we have had the most technical difficulties we've ever had in our entire lives.
Even like more than the first day, I feel like.
Yeah, because I think the first day, we figured it all out within 30 minutes.
Yeah, and this has been an hour of my garage band not working and me being in a really irritated mood because it's not working.
Yeah, Jess is very pregnant and in a mood.
I'm in a mood. I'm too tired for this to work today.
It's okay. I think we finally have it. If you're listening to this, that means we figured it out.
Yeah.
And if you're not, well, then that means that this has been trashed and that nobody's listening to any of this, and we're just talking to ourselves. And Zach, who's in the background.
Exactly. So, you know.
It's cool. It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine. It's all fine.
Insert that
but
meme of that dog in the burning room where everything's fine.
Yeah. Oh, that's exactly.
Yeah, that's one of the images for this week's episode. Or if nothing goes up, that's just going to be what we post.
Yeah, fair. Fair. But this is my, well, this is A, Hot for Justice, if you didn't know what you clicked on.
Yeah, so surprise.
And B, I'm Jessica, if you didn't know
and
that.
I'm Jamie, if you were unaware. And Jessica's very thick with child. 99.2% thick with child, to be exact.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mathed that this morning.
Jamie's texting me a couple days, updating me on my percentage.
Yeah, and by the time you guys are listening to this, if you fucking are, she'll be 99.6% pregnant.
So this is my last episode for a couple weeks, probably a few.
Yeah.
Jamie's got some people lined up.
My hose, yeah.
So you guys will have entertainment. Just be me.
I mean, hopefully it's entertaining. I don't know.
I'm sure it will be. I mean, you're gonna still do your recap of the Terminator, right? So
We are, yeah. Spoiler alert. I watched the Terminator, and it was a hoot and a
I
half.
was proud of her because I meant it. That was a hard no for me.
I think you might enjoy it if you watched it. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of free time in the next few weeks.
We'll see. We'll see.
Baby's first horror movie.
Right? Just going to first concert today is.
True. Yeah, you're gonna go to the Rolling Stones concert tonight.
I am. I'm
How
so
pumped are you?
excited. Me and my dad are going.
How
I've been
cute.
waiting for this since I bought the tickets in October.
Before you even were thinking anything about babies.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and the concert's to be in May, so this is supposed to happen.
Oh shit.
But they rescheduled everything because selfishly Mick Jagger needed surgery.
God, how dare
And
he?
I knew as soon as I read that message, they were gonna schedule everything. I was like, this is gonna be right before my due date. I know it.
Show enough.
Sure enough. Days before my date.
Literally 2 days before.
So I have like a family member on standby in case I can't go, so I can go.
That's glorious.
Because I paid money for these damn tickets, and it was his Christmas
Yeah.
present, so
Exactly.
he's
I mean,
going.
shit. I feel that.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited. Yeah, check out our Instagram, my Instagram, because I'm gonna be posting.
That was really slick, self promo there.
Check out.
Yeah,
I slid
be
that
some
in
sweet pics.
really seamlessly.
I mean, that's what we do here. I mean, do we do quality content? Not really. But we have great transitions.
Right, very good segues.
Yeah, only the best.
Amazing. Speaking of segues, I have to start. We normally do this at the end, but I'm so excited that Winter Season 2 is out on Netflix.
I still need to finish the first season, not gonna lie.
Jamie.
I know
oh
the
my God.
fucking look you just gave me, I thought I was gonna die.
Yes, it's so good. If you guys, if you haven't watched season 1, watch it. But first, I think I've said before to read the book because it's really good.
Actually, I think this is the first time hearing that there was a book. So
Yeah, it's based off of so the book is written by a former BI profiler who
it was what's
so
his
it's
face, right?
based off-
The best guy, right?
yeah.
forget his
So
name.
he kind of was responsible for getting it started, like the people.
Oh shit.
So it's pretty cool. The book is really good. Not for nonfiction. It's not boring. I finish it pretty quick. And the show's good. They do a really good job of kind of sticking to the book, but they put in their
Right.
own. It's yeah.
Anyway, I kind of skimmed through like what the like episode descriptions were for season 2 because I was curious, and I am very excited.
Yeah. Started watching it yesterday, but then I realized I should rewatch season 1 first. So I'm gonna rewatch season 1 and then restart season 2.
There you go. Yeah, I actually just recently I guess we're gonna do the end of the episode at the beginning.
That's fine. That's fine.
I started watching the second season of The Sinner.
Yeah,
So
it's,
good.
it's not as good as the first one, but it is good.
It's not as good, but it's still good.
Yeah,
The first season just like set the bar really high.
it's twisty,
It's super twisty.
and then they're doing season 3 of The Sinner.
Ooh.
They casted somebody, I can't remember, but I was really excited about it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm like halfway through it, and it's like blowing my brain.
Just wait till the end. I was like so shocked. So yeah, that's another good one you guys should watch is The Sinner.
100%. I also just recently started. It's a Netflix original show called 7 Seconds. That shit's wild. I watched the first like 2 episodes. It's super duper twisty. I think you might like it. I don't want to like say too much, but it starts with like a car accident and like shitty cops.
Cool. It's another thing, you guys go on my Instagram and send me recommendations for to watch, preferably something to do with crime or true crime, because I have a lot of time on my hands.
Yeah, you're gonna be on like all the maternity leave. I mean, you just started it last week.
Yeah,
So
I needed it.
yeah, in the first few weeks of like baby life, like they just kind of like sleep and shit a lot.
Yeah.
So-
Well, and they don't sleep when you need them to sleep. So apparently,
Right. It'll be a lot of probably like 3 a.m. like binge watching Netflix.
well, I'm already having like insomnia. I wake up at 3 anyway. I can't go back to sleep. And then I'm up for hours, and then I fall back asleep at like sometimes. So my body's already preparing me for it. It's really rude.
Yeah, it's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Actually, I'm kind of pissed about it. Tired.
I mean, justifiably so.
Hence why I'm making it this morning, because my night's not working.
I know, we almost just said fuck it like 6 times.
I honestly, if this thing I switched to wouldn't work, I'm fucking done. I need a nap. So. And
Christ.
excuse my mom, but when you listen.
Sorry. I know we already like discussed like who went first last week, but I already forgot, so I'm gonna check.
You? No, it was me. You go first this week.
Ah, yes. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I did go. You did go last. So it is me.
Yeah.
So this one's kind of wild. I had never heard of this until, obviously, I found it while doing some furious googling.
Yes.
Because I think we might have addressed this in one of the other 18 times we tried to record this fucking episode. But I kind of twisted Jess's arm into recording today.
She did a little bit. I'm gonna lie.
Because I was like, hey, bitch, we need a proper goodbye.
Yeah. You're right. You're not
Before-
wrong. Like, it wasn't it.
Because like, we alluded to it before, but like I think that was in the like, oh shit, what if you go into like early labor?
Yeah.
But now it looks like your little parasite isn't coming out until, who knows when.
I mean, really, it could be any time. Like that's kind of why I'm nervous to go to this concert.
Here we are.
I feel
Hey,
today. So,
if it gets you closer to birthing, then it's for the better.
if I have a baby at the Rolling Stones concert, meet Mick Jagger.
Oh my god.
That's a thought.
Well, I think I made this joke to you before, but I was like, oh my god, if you go into labor there, you're gonna get like free tickets for life.
Well, I mean,
and then I was like, it's probably gonna be one more concert.
yeah, it's
'Cause
not
they're
even
like 100.
one. They're ancient. Not even the fact that it's ancient, but like if you calculate all the drugs that probably used in their lifetime, it makes them
Definitely
even
used.
more.
That's probably why he had to have heart surgery.
Right. I'm not mad about it.
No, I mean, they do great work.
on.
That's
Yeah, they
Hell
do
yeah.
great work. That's why I'm literally dragging my freaking way too pregnant ass to this concert. I want to go, I do, but I because I'm fucking tired. But this is probably the only time ever gonna get to see them in like live.
Yeah, this is arguably probably maybe their last tour, question mark?
I mean, at least here. Sometimes we're like, in England or like United Kingdom.
Right. But they probably never go to Sacramento.
No, I mean, and it's in Santa Cruz, not in Sac, but yeah.
Okay.
That's the only Cal concert venue they did.
Oh, is it at the Levi Stadium? So I actually went and watched a 49er game there once a few years back. It's a really cool place. I don't know if you've been there. I think it makes a really great concert venue. It's not a great football stadium, but it's probably a great concert stadium.
I hope so. I don't really like going to the Golden One Center in Sac.
I don't know if I've ever been.
It's like I feel really claustrophobic in there.
Is that where the like AAA hockey team plays?
I have no idea, but that's where the basketball plays.
I think it might be the same place.
Probably.
Babe, can you corroborate that? Do you know if that's where the they wouldn't play in Sacramento then, the Stockton Thunder? I'm stupid. Never mind.
The King play there.
They do play in Stockton. I'm actually dumb.
Yeah, but I've been to a couple concerts there, and it's just like really like packed like sardines, and it's I don't know. I don't like it, and it's in downtown Sac. There's like no space.
Well, that's how I feel about the SAP Center in San Jose. That's where like the Sharks play. It's again cool for sports, but like a concert venue.
Yeah. So I'm glad to hear my stadium's better because I hate being claustrophobic at concerts.
Oh, it's fucking worst. And yeah, I like the way it's like set up. I think like the acoustics would be really good. I've seen like clips from people like on like Instagram stories and shit of people being at concerts, and they seem to enjoy it. So,
well, I'll update you guys on the next time I'm recording. The next episode I recorded.
Which who knows when that'll be?
I anticipate around rocks.
Yeah, because that's all I've budgeted for guest-wise. So
I think I can pull a life together at least for like a couple hours in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay. So anyways.
Okay. So this case that I have is kind of wild. So I got most of my information from Reddit per usual. It's not Wikipedia for once. Did I look at the Wikipedia page? Yes. But I did pull most of my like snippets from Reddit and also the Charlie Project website because this involves a missing
whole family.
A whole ass family.
Okay.
So, the Reddit person, the Redditor, is that the right terminology? I don't fucking know. I only use it to do research for this podcast. So the username of the person is Persimmon Plout. Persimmon Plout. I mean, those are two grapefruits, so that's a hell of a name. Yeah, why not? So, October 12th, 1982, a family of 4 disappeared without a trace from their Lassen Street home in Northridge, California. None of the family members have ever been seen since.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, let's take a trip in the Wayback Machine. We're going to rewind back to 1972, where Saul Solomon moved his family from Israel to the U.S. They had settled in Northridge, California, where Saul was a small business owner and his wife Elaine was a stay-at-home mother to their 2 children, Michelle and Mitchell. First of all, why would they do that to themselves? It's a terrible fucking, like, situation for their kids. Like, I know, like, my dad had enough issues with my mom's name being Jennifer and my name being Jamie. Like, if he was trying to yell for one of us, he would yell the other one's name. But could you imagine Michelle and Mitchell?
On my dad's family, we all have J names. Like, most of us, not all of us, but like, there's tons of us. So he would cycle through all his sisters, he would cycle through all the J's before he'd get me. Sometimes I'm like, dude, you named me.
Right, like, weren't you there? Yeah, my dad would be like, Jenny, you. So yeah, there's Michelle and Mitchell. Again, whatever. So Saul's business was a fire extinguisher repair and refill shop, which I didn't even know that was a thing. I mean, I guess somebody's got to do it, right? So. But like, I didn't even know that was like a thing that you needed repaired or refilled. I think you just like bought new ones.
Different time. When was this?
This started in 1972, but they disappeared in 82. So yeah, he had 4 employees. Him and Elaine also owned some rental properties in the area, but Saul's interest and investment in vintage and exotic cars may be what have caused his disappearance, as well as his family's. Police say that the family was last seen late on October 12th, 1982, by an unnamed visitor. This person has been interviewed, but apparently they've been completely cleared of any wrongdoing. 2 days later, on October 14th, the Solomons' neighbors called the police after being unable to make contact with them to tell them that their pool had been overflowing. Right, I thought that was weird too. I don't know the details of that, but apparently their pool was
Interesting.
very overfilled. Police were also contacted by family members and employees about the family. Nobody had heard from them. Police arrived at the Solomon home to find it locked, so they forced entry and discovered that no family members had been present. The house didn't appear to be out of order, like everybody's beds had been made, which Elaine's mother, Margaret, oh god, I'm going to butcher this, Malorowitz?
Something like that.
Sure. Right, something like that. She described this as being very uncharacteristic of the family. So apparently there are some, messy motherfuckers. So, and a lot of valuable items such as jewelry, electronics, and $2,500 in cash, which I calculated, and in today's money, that's like a little over like $6,500. That's all, and a Rolls Royce were all left behind.
Okay.
So, first of all, I would love to have just $6,500 just laying around. But like, why didn't anyone take it? That's weird.
Right.
So robbery wasn't a motive. The only one unsettling clue was found. In 15-year-old Michelle's room, police discovered blood and some small blood spatters. However, neither the bedroom nor the rest of the house showed signs of a violent struggle. Police and family were unable to explain what happened to the family or why they would have been targeted. Police worked with Israeli officials to create a background profile on Saul. He was 35 at the time of the disappearance, and his wife, Elaine, was 39. Nothing in the histories indicated any association with crime. Saul had been a police officer and served in the military while they were in Israel, and Elaine was a college graduate. Both came from solid families, and nobody had a criminal record that they knew of. Within days of their disappearance, Saul and Elaine's wallets and passports were found thrown along a stretch of highway several miles from their home. The children's passports may have also been found, but there was a lot of conflicting reports on whether or not they were actually there. Rumors began circulating that Saul was involved with the Israeli Mafia, a group that operated out of the LA area. Family members denied these allegations and pleaded for their safe return. A $50,000 reward was offered by the family, which was a sizable amount in 1982. I actually calculated that somewhere, how much of that is in like today's money. I know.
We are becoming
Jamie doing math.
quite
Bitch,
math
what?
people.
Since when? It's close to, or a little over like $100,000, so maybe like $120,000. Yeah.
I could use
Isn't that wild?
$100 if someone wants to give me some. Help,
Right?
for real.
Help us, we're poor. We'll leave our Venmo links in the show notes if you'd like to donate. Just kidding, we're not going to, but it's fine. Police revealed to the media that they were familiar with Saul Solomon prior to the family's disappearance, but they declined to elaborate, stating that he wasn't known under the suspicion of any criminal activities. Police also publicly voiced their questions about how Solomon was able to afford some of the items in his life based on income from property and his business, but by all accounts they were just hardworking, good people, loved by family and friends, many of whom were part of a tight-knit Jewish community which they socialized and worshipped with frequently. Finally, police received a lead that Saul had had a fight with a business associate on the afternoon of October 12, 1982. Ashley Paul, a cab driver from London, claimed that he had witnessed a man named Harvey Rader shoot Saul. Harvey Rader was a British man residing in Los Angeles who owned a specialty vintage car and restoration business, and Saul had met Harvey through his car hobby. It was discovered that Saul had loaned or invested over $20,000, or in today's money about $52,000, in Rader's well-respected shop, and that Saul was angry about the details of the venture. On October 12th, the two men attended a car show in the afternoon, and an argument started over the money. Saul was apparently upset enough to mention this to at least one other person. Police focused their attention on Rader. He was questioned but denied any knowledge of what happened to the family. Nevertheless, police moved forward with their investigation and were able to piece together a timeline, including the fight and subsequent threats made by against Saul by Rader and a male associate of his. Adding to their suspicions was the fact that Rader had previously been tied to another mysterious disappearance but was never charged with any crimes. Paul said that he and Rader had buried Saul and the other family members in a desert near Acton, where their personal belongings were discovered after the disappearance. So that's like the passports and shit. Paul stated that Rader and Saul had an argument concerning Saul's investment. The other family members were murdered as well, since they knew that Saul was with Rader the day that he was reportedly killed. Paul demanded immunity in exchange for his testimony from prosecutors. Authorities believe that Paul was more involved in the crimes after his request was granted, and so he took a polygraph exam. Investigators announced that Paul failed the test and he was then charged as an accessory to the murders, and his immunity was revoked.
Yeah,
I didn't know they could do that.
What term the agreement. Yeah,
that's fair. So the charges against him were eventually dropped, and he went back to England. Rader was arrested for the family's murders in August of 1988, so about 6 years after the initial disappearance, and immediately after his release from an Arizona prison after completing a sentence for passport fraud. So he's a piece of shit already. Paul had refused to return to the United States to testify against his cousin. I don't know why they wouldn't just extradite him. Like, can't they, like, make him come? The evidence against Rader was only circumstantial, though. 3 defense witnesses claimed that they saw Saul in Carpinteria, California, after the family vanished. One of the witnesses was a civilian dispatcher for the police department, who said that they saw Saul inside of a pharmacy on October 12, 1982. The statement was supported by the pharmacist, who agreed that Saul was the person spotted inside the pharmacy. Rader's defense attorneys claimed that Saul and Elaine were having marital problems in 1982, and said that Saul was involved in illegal drug and firearms trades at the time that the family had vanished. Their loved ones and the prosecution denied these allegations. Rader's case ended in 2 mistrials before he was acquitted of any involvement in July of 1992. He continues to maintain his innocence in the cases afterwards. Rader sold his story and hoped to turn the events into a television film in 1992. He wanted to remain in the United States as his former wife and child were residing in the country. Authorities considered deporting Rader back to Great Britain after the conclusion of his trial. He was also the prime suspect in a 1982 California disappearance of Peter Davis and his wife, Joan. The couple's cases remain unsolved, but officials believe that Rader might have killed him after a business-related dispute.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Damn.
He was never charged in any connection with their disappearances due to lack of evidence. Rader's cousin claimed that he had assisted in the burial of the Solomon family in the desert near Acton, California in 1982. Investigators conducted extensive searches of the area throughout the years, but no evidence related to the crimes has ever been uncovered. The family has never been located, and their case remains unsolved. Right? Prosecutors decided to file charges against Rader for murder, despite having no bodies or much concrete evidence. He had 3 trials total. When he was acquitted, the police had to return his travel documents and release any form of U.S. restraint, so they weren't able to deport him or do any of that. Like, even though they tried, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Just because there wasn't enough evidence that he actually did anything. He did leave the country on his own accord, though, shortly after the acquittal. The Solomons are still missing, and no bodies have ever been found.
Dang.
So yeah.
Yeah.
It's very unsettling, and there's no, like, answers to anything. I think that he did it.
I mean, it seems logical. That's crazy.
Right.
It's scary. I wonder now, like,
Isn't that
with
insane?
today's technology, if the outcome would probably be different. You know?
Probably. I mean, like, I feel like probably back then because they were saying that, like, he was, like, spotted at that pharmacy or whatever, and so that, maybe they didn't go missing that day. And they were just going on the word of the pharmacist, and, I mean, like, we'll post pictures, but he's a pretty, like, average-looking dude. So, I mean, like, it could have been anybody that the pharmacist saw.
Video.
But, I mean, like, nowadays there obviously would be, like, probably security footage. Yeah, so that's my case for the week.
My case is really kind of disturbing, too. So,
Excellent. Tell me more.
This is one I think I referenced before that I was going to cover, and then I wanted to do a different research, and I never got to it. So, it is what it is. I got most of my information from Calaveras Enterprise.
Yeah.
There's by Gray George, who kind of like went through the whole thing and the victim, like all background and stuff, which I'm gonna get into a lot. But it's a 2-part article, so it's really great if you Google it. But today's
Cool.
case is her name was Sherilyn Murphy. She was found in it's like it's a very remote area on the outskirts of Angels Camp, which is in Calaveras County. It's called Camp 9, so most people would go out there to go hiking or camping, and there's swimming holes and stuff. Like we used to go out there when we were younger, and people would go out and drink, and yeah. Well, I think I've actually been out there one time, and with family, so I never. Yeah, we would go somewhere else. Really? That was fun to go. Like
you weren't up to some hood rat shit
and do that. But a lot of times you have to hike. It can be kind of sketchy, so I wouldn't normally drink and go down. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be no for me, dog.
It's pretty remote, which is kind of why it's interesting. It's not something I know about unless from the area or familiar with the area. But a local man, December of 1994, he was in college working with some college friends on his family's property. His name was Chad, and he found a dismembered Chad.
It would be a Chad.
He found a dismembered female body. She was missing her head and her hands. And obviously that's pretty shocking. So they, went back and called the police. They had actually found her hands 2 months before the rest of her body. They were found in a plastic bag off of a bank.
Oh my God!
At the Stanislaus River, which is near Parrots Ferry. So Parrots Ferry Bridge is actually not that far from 9. It's on the same road. So it could have just been like convenience. Tops, toss, whatever. They never found her head. The coroner performed her autopsy, and they confirmed the hands were hers. Her cause of death was there were multiple wounds. They didn't really specify where. And since this case is old, there's not a ton of very specific information. The Calaveras County District Attorney and Investigator, his name's John Crawford. He worked diligently to identify her, and they were trying to use her because they did find her hands. Because obviously they didn't know what she looked like. Her head looked like.
Is it really fucked up the entire time that you've been talking about her hands? All I can think about you're gonna catch these hands.
Oh my gosh. Well,
I'm going to hell.
I read the other day, and I'll circle back to that after I'm done. So, after it took John Crawford
Excellent.
a year to identify her. She was identified as Sherilyn Murphy, originally from Tacoma, Washington. She was 24 years old when she went missing. Yeah, so it's really young.
I'm 24.
That happened to you is awful. The weird thing about this case was she's not from Calaveras County. She didn't live there. So she was actually from Tacoma,
so she was just
but
visiting?
her family had to Sacramento when she was me. So her family down here. She went to Tacoma for a while. She met kind of some difficult times. She was having problems, fell in with a bad crowd. Her boyfriend got her hooked up drugs and forced her out on the streets. So she came to Sacramento in 1992, which was 2 years before she went missing or found her body. She actually, I believe, was working as a prostitute or a sex worker in Sacramento when she went missing. So that definitely adds a layer of complexity to the case. It could have just been that she met the wrong person.
Definitely.
And yeah, it's just interesting though that
wrong place, the wrong time,
was found so far because Angels Camp is a solid 2 hours away from Sacramento. It is, and
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was
not
like, that's
only
kind of
that,
a bit of a trek.
place where she was at is an additional like I mean, it's kind of a drive out there to dump.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think I've actually ever
Yeah.
been there, but I've actually, I think, heard
Yeah.
Zach
So
reference it
I
before.
mean,
Because
pretty
that's
much
like closer
if
to
you're
like where
from
he was
the
from.
area, you're familiar with Camp Nut, whether or not you've been out there or not. You know, it's kind of like one of those places. But yes, they never
Yeah.
like figured out like, who murdered her. Her, I think she had been seeing somebody in that person, and they did their due diligence and they ruled out a lot of people, but that they never figured out who did it. So
Mm-hmm.
it is right.
God, that's so unsettling.
Yeah, and I mean,
Especially
obviously
'cause, like,
they did it
like,
so
she
they
was,
wouldn't
like, so fucking
identify her,
mutilated.
which makes them kind of feel like it's somebody who knew her. Because if it was just like a random guy who paid her for services, she wouldn't be connected to her anyway. So yeah, apparently
Right.
she had left her apartment morning to her boyfriend she'd be back. She never was. She never came back. So I just kind of I don't know. But it says now I'm kind of a little bit more in my notes. Is her boyfriend? They lived together. Her ex-boyfriend were excluded as suspects. So I don't know. Maybe it was somebody else who knew her, but definitely really creepy. Yeah, I feel like it.
I don't know. I feel like it's always the
but
boyfriend.
yeah. So Cobbs County, they're still on their cold case like website. If you have information about it, to contact the sheriff's department. But it's been cold for a long time. Yeah.
Since what, 94?
Yeah, 2020, almost 25.
So, 24 years ago.
Yeah. No,
I mean, honestly, I
I'm
wouldn't have known
thinking
that
about
if
it because
I
my
wasn't
cousin
born that year,
Bonnie
so.
was born in 1994 and she just turned 25. So I'm not mathing here. I just had some reference.
You know. Exactly. I mean,
Well, I do
shit.
that too.
I had to
I'm not
Google
gonna
all my
sit there and
like money
do math
conversions.
when Google can tell me the answer. That makes no sense, right? So.
Oh, exactly. Like, I'm sorry.
So
No,
that's
thank
my
you.
case for the week. If you guys have suggestions on cases or there's something not in California that you wanted to cover, send us some suggestions. Yeah.
Yeah, we're super open.
Yeah.
And eventually
because
we'll probably
we
end up
can-
running out of
we
shit to
can
talk about.
only do
Otherwise,
research based on what's covered in news and stuff and what we can get access to, and sometimes not a lot. Especially if you're not pretty white.
unfortunately, yeah. So, yeah.
Honestly.
No shit.
Yep. His favorite.
Yeah, and Wikipedia only tells me so much, so. I was fucking crying when I was reading your show notes.
Yeah.
So if you guys don't know, I do like all the like editing part, and Jessica does the show notes and like plugs in our sources and stuff. And for the last couple, I didn't have my like sources like ready beforehand, and
I went with
it was Jamie's sources, probably Wikipedia. Yeah, if you guys don't read them, you should, because Jessica has some pretty funny shit in there,
just
and I'm
I'll
actually
do
like, not
them.
prepared to have to do them for the next 2 weeks. So,
it makes me laugh.
perfect.
I feel like show notes very like a very
God.
under a thing. People don't read them, so I like to fit in little nuggets there.
Dude, I was truly dying the Kurt McFall episode, and you're like, spoiler alert, he fell to his death.
See, I'm going to
I was just like,
so
Jesus Christ.
we make a podcast when we're down there together. Oh, I'm sure there will be.
Yes, I mean, hopefully there's margaritas down there.
And he's, it's
Just
long,
kicking it with
it's
Satan.
been a long time without
Drinking
a
some,
margarita.
drinking some margs.
Not gonna lie.
I know, I was telling Zach the other day, I was like, oh yeah, like when she's like deep in labor, I told her just like hit me up and we'll drive. And he's like, okay, cool.
Buddy.
And I was like, yep. And then we will DoorDash the closest place that has margaritas.
I probably
Straight to your
bad
living
as
room.
I cannot wait to have a margarita. I know I probably will like have one right after the baby, but I'm pretty stoked for when I feel good and I'm like ready.
Probably
ready
not.
for it. We're gonna go out, and I'm very excited. I'm gonna the husband and the baby
Yes.
is gonna hang out with daddy, and I'm gonna go and have fun. Yeah, and that's what he was like totally.
I mean, you
just,
deserve
like,
it. You've been
yeah,
DD for
it's
how
been a
long?
Basically 10 months you've been automatic the DD. So he's cool. Yeah, it has felt like 100
Right,
years.
and it's felt like 100 years per your quote.
Can't. I'm so excited.
I know, I
like,
can barely
sit
remember a
on
time
my
when you weren't
stomach
pregnant.
again and feel like myself and not gaining, like weight every week. That'd be cool. Right. Oh my god. Yeah.
I mean,
well,
yeah,
and I'm very
it's
excited.
the dream, isn't it?
Like
To no longer be with
I'm
child.
very excited to have my body back to myself.
That's valid. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's
There will be
lot
nothing
to
in my
do.
uterus for the
You know,
next
it's so funny,
indefinite
I
future.
was wearing like athletic clothes yesterday. It's basically comfortable, and I haven't been going anywhere. And I was going to Target with Audrey, and
Right.
who's our number one fan. You guys didn't know, but she looked all cute, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna change.
Hell yeah.
She was,
Hey, bitch. I know
"Oh,
you're
so
listening.
changing the stretchy pants to stretchy pants. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna change all. What point?
Oh my god.
So, yeah, it's pretty great.
Right?
I mean, at a certain
God.
point, you stop buying maternity clothes, because they just waste of money.
I mean, hopefully by the time everyone's listening to this, she'll be gone.
Yeah. I mean, and if I have
Right,
another
and you're not
kid,
planning on having other kids, so it's kind of
who
just
knows
dumb
if
to
it'll
have
be the
them.
same time of year, buy more, who knows? So I'm just, yeah, not planning on it anytime soon.
It's a big to do.
Oh, hello. Harlow would like to say hi to everybody.
Absolutely not. Oh,
and
hi.
Jess is in there too.
Yeah. I say for those of you who don't know, Jessica has
She loves to
has 3
bark.
dogs. They like to bark.
She's been sleeping. Harlow,
They've
please
been doing really good for the last like
She
40 minutes. Not
loves-
gonna lie.
to bark at everything, and it drives me insane. I really hope that the baby's a solid sleeper because otherwise, we're gonna be.
Yikes. I know. I'm like trying to look at my dog out of the corner of my eye to make sure because he's I think napping too. Yeah, he's out like a light. But the first couple times Harlow barked like an hour ago, like he lost his goddamn mind. So I was just like looking like, please don't do this to me right now.
It drives me nuts. And
We don't need barking on
we
both ends.
got like a vibration collar to try to train her to not bark because we're having a baby. And we, yeah, way right. We wanted it to try to get ahead of that.
Oh my God, you
but
are?
She like took it so hard. She became so jumpy, and she like it scared her to
Oh,
touch,
weird.
and she'd flinch. And it made it. We were like, no, we gave her a day, and she was like,
Oh shit.
I just felt so terrible. So we ended up getting rid of it because I couldn't do it to her. Yeah, she's very sensitive, so
What a big
that was
baby.
out. Yeah, so if any of you are like a Caesar Milan and you have any ideas for getting my mom to stop barking at everything, let me know.
Yeah, send Jess the DMs about
Yeah. And now I'm
were
gonna go back
what were
to
the
my
earlier
meme.
Netflix recommendations and
So
dog
I saw a meme and it said basically
Oh
like,
right.
imagine getting
I forgot. Go on.
murdered, and then someone else talk about you on a podcast and refers to your murder as a good one. And I was like, oh,
Oh
ouch.
no. Yikes on bikes. Zach in the background, he's
We
like,
say it all the
"That was a good
time,
murder."
so, yeah.
We do.
Yeah. I mean, we all do.
Yeah, there's a special place in hell for us. But, I mean, if you're listening to this,
try
there's a special place for you, too.
And
We can all just kick it together.
you know, we just have to have fun. Talk to
Right.
each other about sad things.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's gonna happen anyway.
I mean,
matter
you
what.
know, you gotta be lighthearted about it, right?
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, you can't let
so
the
I
depressing
went
shit
forth
get you
my
down.
recommendations at the beginning, so I guess you can wrap it up with your recommendations. It really
Yes.
is.
So, yeah, season 2 of The Sinner. I mean, definitely watch season 1 if you haven't already. It's fucking phenomenal.
It did.
Second season's pretty good.
It's
but,
like
the
one
first
of
one
those
was
where
it's
the
honestly
same,
set the bar
like,
so
there's
high.
detectives
That
in
the
it,
second
but
one
not the
pales in
same
comparison, but it's
people.
still good.
As first. Yeah.
Right. Because the seasons are they're independent of each other to an extent.
I love him.
So the main investigator is Bill Pullman, which by the way, that's reason enough to watch it. Right. So he's in both, and
Yeah. If
his
it's in the
storyline I
end,
guess
season three,
kind of is continuous over both seasons, but they don't touch on the stuff from before. Yeah. So
I'm reading.
definitely go watch that. I don't think I've been doing anything
Yeah.
else too exciting or new.
Yeah.
Like I said, 7 Seconds. I just started that. It's pretty good. I haven't watched enough of it to really report back on. I watched that Charlie Manson documentary on Hulu. I forget exactly what it's called. I can put it in the show notes or whatever. That was really interesting. So it had interviews of Manson family members when they were in it and or when they had just gotten out of it, and then they brought them back and talked to them about it today. Or I guess a year or two ago, because I think it was filmed in 2017 or 2018. So it's very fucking interesting. Yeah, they talk about that too, actually. There's a handful of them where they keep trying to appeal, but they won't give a shit.
Murders.
As they shouldn't. Oh, it's fucking wild. Oh, actually, speaking of, so Zach and I just watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood on Friday. That movie was fucking phenomenal. And it's very adjacent to the Manson family. They're actually there's a small plot line in it. I'm not trying to spoil anything.
Okay. I like her.
It's fucking wild. And Margot Robbie plays Sharon Tate. Yeah. It's a very good movie, and I like what they did to kind of weave that plot line in. It was very interesting. I don't want to tell too much,
but would recommend then.
But it's bonkers.
Cool.
I mean, it's a Tarantino film. It's all bonkers, but
Yeah.
oh,
You know,
absolutely.
I still do
I mean, if you
movies.
weren't thick with
still
child,
go
I'd recommend going.
places. Sorry, everybody. I'm gonna pause myself for 1 second.
Oh my. Yep. I'm gonna entertain the masses. Hi. And yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, really fucking good movie. It's almost 3 hours long though, so definitely be mentally prepared. Pee first. Do all that.
Yeah. I'll put it on my list.
The last 30 minutes, you will shit your pants. I was not prepared. I wish I was prepared, but it was glorious. Are you back?
All right. Sorry, everybody. It's about Harlow. I guess maybe it's time to.
I think she's told us that we've talked for too long. I tried to entertain everybody while you're gone. So
get off your podcast.
All right. Well, on that note, Jess, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that's all we got.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.